Facebook, I'm back. It's Thursday night and I'm back. I got somebody special for you tonight. I need you to call your friends, call your loved ones, call your kids, your potential law students, your lawyers. Everybody's going to learn tonight. In about 4 minutes, 40 seconds, I'm going live with my personal mentor, the guy that put me on, the guy that I listen to. I need you to go get everybody because this gentleman is the man. And guess what? He's white. Yes. My number one mentor is white. Even though I have a lot of black ones too. But this guy right here, he's awesome. I'm going to get about 40 seconds. Go get everybody. We'll wait for you. We'll be back.
Like the hook. AZ. This is my court theme song. It's a mental song when I walk into the courthouse.
Facebook, I'm here. Check it out. It's Thursday night, 2017. I'm here with my number one mentor, life mentor, Stephen Pfeiffer. I got a quick story for you, and I'm going to get into him. But first, I got to talk about me. Check it out. I was in law school. I was in my second year. I was a 2-year-old year, been through first year, been through second year. Went from class to class to class, and all I'm doing is they're teaching me all these ways to be formal. They're teaching me all of these ways to be calm. They're taking my emotion away. They're taking my passion away. They're telling me that everything that I've ever learned that was my strength should not be used in the courtroom. And so I'm walking around with none of my tools. I don't have my bag with me because everything is so formal. I have to speak a certain way. And I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. And this wasn't the thing where they were trying to take my strengths away from me. I think they really believe that everything that about me that was passionate, the way that I expressed myself, the way that I talked with my hands, any way that I thought that got me through life up until my 32nd year, they were telling me, no, you can't do these things. That's not what a lawyer does. And I'm like, well, if that's not what a lawyer does, I can't do what these guys do. I mean, these guys are super refined. They use all the correct grammar. They speak perfectly. And I'm like, whoo, I don't know if this little lawyer thing is for me. And then I take a class. The class is negotiations out of all classes. Negotiations is a class you go in and they give you a prompt. You talk to the other person there in front of you and you try to get your client the best thing that you can get. It was very, very practical. I suggest anybody take it. But the whole point was one day after class, there was a gentleman, this gentleman right here that's right beside me, pulled me beside and said, hey, Johnnie Finch, let me talk to you. I looked at him, I was like, just like anybody else that was speaking to me at the time, I thought perhaps he was telling me something that I should do wrong about the way that I was carrying myself, the way that I was speaking, the way that I was using my hands, the way that I was animated, my passion. And what he says, hey, man, what you got inside of you is something special. And the legal community needs it. The lights come on. That moment. That moment I've been looking for 2.5 years. No one uttered it, but this man saw it. That's all I needed. From that day, I was ready because I could not believe that all of my God-given skills, abilities that I had could not be used in the legal profession. And this man beside me said, hey, that what you got inside of you, that's going to change the game. But I need you to do one thing. And this is why this is my main mentor right here. This is why this is my main guy. He said, as much as you have, you need to be able to switch it up. So at the same time, you can go into the communities where minorities are, disadvantaged are. You need to be able to switch it up and be at that boardroom with those multimillionaires. That's your task. That's what I challenge you to do. That was my Kobe Bryant challenge. This is how this man challenged me in class. I got one more story, but I won't tell that right now. I'll save it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him now. This is Stephen Pfeiffer, the Go to DUI attorney in Hampton Roads. I mean, this man is magnificent. Please speak to my Facebook audience, Stephen, and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Johnny, it's a pleasure to be here, man. You know, you're my special students, man. I love teaching, but you got a special place in my heart. You know that, brother. I saw in you what everyone sees in you, and that's unlimited potential. You're just real, man. And it's my pleasure to have had the opportunity to be a part of your matriculation into a phenomenal lawyer. And you've made me a better person too, because like I told you, everyone in every class, I learned something from my students. So I take something away. I'm trying to give as much as I can, but I always learn and take something away. So it is my pleasure, man, to have taught you and to be a part of your life, to watch your beautiful family grow, to watch your practice grow, and to watch your servant heart taking care of people, the community, man. I love you went back to your roots. You went back and took care of people who needed it, and we're shining light for them, man. So being a professor is great. Being a lawyer is better. Being a father and a member of the community is the best gig in the world, and it's a privilege to be someone's lawyer and to choose you for that. And I know you're living it up. You're doing it right. So I'm just proud to be in your presence, my friend.
Oh, man. Listen, before this law school game started for you, man, am I correct in saying that you were a beast on the football field? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I love your flattery, brother. It'll get you everywhere. But I played ball in college. I was a linebacker. I started out outside linebacker and never left the position. Stayed there the whole time in college. Eventually became middle linebacker and captain of my team. And the privilege of becoming an all-conference linebacker with some great players. Never a rock star, going to make it to the next level, but I was good at what I did. I enjoyed it, and I've made it the goal to work hard at everybody else and be meaner than everybody else. So college football was an amazing experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, despite the fact my old 30 going on 40-year-old knees are a little bit sore than normal, but I wouldn't trade it, man.
You know, I will tell you guys, there was one time in class, there was a prompt that we did, and, you know, I kind of got into it with one of my good friends who was in the class, and I kind of disagreed with what Professor Pfeiffer was saying. And when I disagreed with him, I kind of stood up for a moment to tell him how I felt about the situation. Well, he kind of stood up to tell me how he felt about the situation. And I saw that offensive lineman frame stand up, and I sat down. So let's just say he is not a small guy by any means. Probably the only, he's probably the only lawyer in the United States that can beat me fighting. Now, I will say that. He's the only guy in the United States that can beat me fighting. That's it. You know, that's it. He can't. He's the only one. I'm not doing it with that guy.
I'm scrapping.
So how do you feel that all the skills and abilities that you learn while you're on the field translates to the courtroom, if at all?
I mean, not just football, but any athletic team sport translates beautifully, because you have to learn the fundamentals. The fundamentals are hard work, determination. You got to get into your craft and learn it. So to be the best linebacker you can be, I've got to study film. I've got to know where people are going. I need to know where my teammates around me are going. There's no difference than practicing law. I need to know the judge. Who am I going to be in front of? What's their characteristics? What's the prosecutor I'm dealing with? What's my client like? Is he a loudmouth? Is he going to run off at the mouth? Do I need to control what my client's going to say? Do I want my client to speak? So you've got to take in all this information, and you got to be able to process it with learned instinct. So I say learned instinct, meaning you use your instincts in the moment, but you train yourself to be so immersed in the facts and the people around you and your surroundings that it comes out as instinctual in the courtroom. So the lessons in the football field translate to the courtroom. I think they translate to anything in life. Hard work, determination, intelligence, and sometimes just pure grit. You got to power through and get the job done. And it's a lifelong skill that you learn on the football field and any athletic field.
That's awesome, man. You know, our last two guests that we had, awesome ladies, were both solo practitioners. Where that's differs a little bit here is that Stephen is actually a part of a super major firm in Hampton Roads. Tell me a little bit about that firm life and coming out of law school, how you got into that, and why did you select going to a major firm as opposed to starting your own firm or a smaller firm?
Well, first let me talk about the last two ladies you had on the show. Were fantastic, man. I watched them. They were great. I mean, just beasts of their profession. someone that I would definitely put in my Rolodex for the future if my clients need help in those areas. There's no doubt about that. So kudos to you in getting good people. But I will say I chose my firm because of the culture. I'm not a solo guy. I'm a team guy. I mean, that's just not my style. I need to be with a team of people. I saw a firm, it was 120 or 100, at that point 115, now we're almost 125 years old law firm. But I saw a group of people that rounded the wagons when someone was in trouble. They circle those wagons, protect the people inside. They're a unified front going forward, and they work hard. They have fun. So it was a bigger firm, but it had the soul of a small firm. And for me, that was attractive. I had a chance to go there and learn from other people, have built-in mentors in my environment, and it was just a perfect fit for me, man. So I didn't go to a firm that sucked the soul out of me. I went to a firm that had a small firm mentality in a mid to large firm size. So I chose that place because it chose me, frankly. I went there, I met the people there, and it was all about the people. And the moment I told them I didn't want to do civil work anymore, I wanted to just focus in 100% on criminal defense, they supported me. I was basically the first guy in that firm to truly go all in criminal defense work and DUI defense work. And I thought I'd get some flack. We represent a lot of major corporations, businesses, individuals. And, my firm said, do it with class, do it with integrity, and do it with excellence. And we have no problem with it. And I've been committed to doing that ever since. And it just says volumes about the place you choose to work. So a big firm life has been good for me, but I think it's also a characteristic of the firm. I scrutinize the places I look at. And family life's important. You probably hear my little girl run around the background here a little bit. You got to go to a place that gives you time.
Cool. Now, the name of your firm is what?
Wolcott Rivers Gates.
And how old is that firm?
I will be 125 years old here in the next year or two, so it's old.
Okay, so you went to the firm and you basically opened a new area of law that they didn't practice at. After how many years?
I was practicing. Actually, ironically, I looked at it today because I'm teaching some of the young associates in my firm about marketing plans, and I looked back and I said, "Oh, it was after my third year. I realized that criminal defense is where my strong suit is." So it was basically after 3 years, I said, I'm going all in. And now I've been there over a decade now. So after 3 years, I zeroed in and found where my passion was, and I went after it, and my firm supported me. So 3 years, and then from that point forward, it grew, and we created this entity, Wolcott Rivers Gates Criminal Defense firm. Now I have another associate working with me who's a rock star, and we're defending people and giving them great legal defense at a big firm.
Now, how did you become a partner? Now, what year was that? How did you become a partner, and what was it about you that made them want to make you a partner? And how did you leverage that against the firm so that you could become a partner?
It's interesting. A lot of firms, when I interviewed at big firms when I was first coming out of law school, we have a partnership track where you get into this point after 10 years, you'll start to be considered for a junior partner, and based upon your revenue and all that. And in my firm, they said we don't have an official partnership track. It's, do you do great work? Are you respected in the community for what you do? And are you a legal scholar in that community? Do you have a good clientele? Do you have clients that come in the door for you? And do you fit this culture? Are you going to be a long-term asset to our firm that's going to stay around and be a part of this place, be a part of the history? And that's the qualifications. Now, on average, it took 7, 10, 15 years to do that. By the grace of God, I was able to accomplish that goal and have my partners in the legal community trust me enough to give me the opportunity to be a partner after 5 years. So I've been a partner for over almost 5 or 6 years now. And it was a blessing. That was my goal when I came out of law school, is to make partner at a law firm after 5 years. So by the grace of God, I was able to accomplish that. But also God rewards those who work hard. And we put the work in to get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've asked it the last 2 weeks. I don't know if I got an answer yet. Was there a moment when you felt like you arrived in the legal community? Is there a moment, or can you speak to a moment when you were in courtroom or when you were prepping for trial or anything where you felt like you arrived? And can you articulate that to North Carolina right now?
You're always chasing the next day. You're chasing the best version of you, which is the next day. And every day you want to improve and be better. If I had to pick a day that I felt like it was my best moment, frankly, I would say It was the day I made an AV rating on Martindale-Hubbell. So for those in the audience who know what Martindale-Hubbell is, that was the old school version before Google and before all these other things. That's where people went and lawyers went to see who's a good lawyer, because other lawyers and judges, give the selection on that. They have high ethical standards and are they excellent in their profession. And the highest rating you can receive is an AV rating. And about 4.5 or 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to be selected by my peers and judges as an AV rated attorney after only practicing for 5 years. And to me, that was the moment I was like, okay, people respect my game. They respect what I know. They respect the work I put into it. And then I'm an ethical and hard fighting lawyer. So to me, that was a special moment for me, because that's not an award you get from clients or just being popularity contests. That's an award you get for recognition from your peers for the quality of work that you perform. So I think that's the moment that was most special for me up to this point. But certainly being on your show, Johnny's number 2.
Oh, shoot. Listen, I got a question for you. Check it out. To those that don't know, I see AJ's out there, great defense attorney from Georgia. And there's certainly 40,000 different aspects and ways to look at a DUI. Really quickly, though, 3 things that you always do anytime you look at a DUI case, just to try to evaluate. If you can give my audience that'd be great. I'm sure guys are going to Hampton Roads, you're drinking and driving. Don't do that. Don't you do that. Don't you get on that road and drink and drive. But if you know somebody right now that already did it, you need to call Stephen Pfeiffer. Tell them a little bit about that evaluation process from the master.
Before I do that, I get a shout. I see Brian Smalls giving some comments up here, and that's my guy, man. Like that's one of the guys I go to whenever I have an issue on the peninsula. I reach out to him. He's a rock star. You need to get him on the show soon.
He's coming.
All right. So if I got a DUI defense and a client comes in to meet with me, the first thing I promise them is what I've told every client my entire life. I promise you death and taxes, and my best efforts, I'll fight for you, and I'll tell you the truth. That's it. Start right there. After that point, I say, all right, let's hear about your case. And I let them tell me from their perspective, but I don't just say, tell me what happened. I walk them through step by step. I ask the questions. I want to make sure I'm leading the charge as to figuring out the information that I need. But what I'll do when I get the information from the client and then from the government, I do a 4-step analysis on every DUI. Step 1 is, do they have a basis to stop my client? So for the non-lawyers out there, what that means is it's called reasonable suspicion. Why did the officer come into contact with you? Were you speeding? Were you swerving? What was going on? So I start my analysis there, because if you win on step 1, you win the case. So reasonable suspicion, that's where I start. The second step then, if they get past that, is probable cause. So that is, in definition of probable cause, is would a reasonable officer, having the information that officer had and having done things correctly, believe more likely than not that you are driving impaired? If the answer is yes, you move to step 3. So what I do there is I break down what the officer did. I look in and I see, did he do the field sobriety test correctly? Did he screw them up? How did my client perform? What was the field environments? And I see if I can break it down right there. If I can't, we move to step 3. Step 3 in my analysis is, can I keep out the intoxilizer or the breath results or the blood results? How do you do that? You got to break down the process. Was there a mistake in the process of getting that result? Because if I keep out that result, there's no presumption or inference that my client's impaired. Then step 4 is the classic beyond a reasonable doubt. In Virginia, I'd say, can the Commonwealth of Virginia prove 5 things? That you operated a motor vehicle in Virginia impaired. If one of those 5 ingredients falls out, the cookie don't bake. So I try to break down one of those ingredients, those 5 elements. If I can keep one out, then my client should win the DUI case. So that's the analysis that I go through on every single DUI case, whether it's a manslaughter DUI or a first offense DUI. And occasionally file 10,000 motions.
I gotta switch things, man. I was taking so many notes that my hands are tired now. My hands are tired. You gotta come to North Carolina and show us how to do it. To all of the ladies that are out here, all the young ladies and all of the young fellas that are out here, but I do have a question for you. How do you feel the legal profession is embracing young ladies and minorities in 2017? From now, you are you white or black or Hispanic or?
You tell me, man. You tell me.
You're definitely black, but let me know what you think and how you think the legal profession and just in Hampton Roads, I'm not going to ask you all over America, in Hampton Roads, how does it embrace ladies and minorities in the profession?
Oh, I can speak specifically for my firm. I mean, my firm has recently hired, 10 attorneys in the last 3 years, and I would say the majority of them are female attorneys. I have to say, what I witnessed in law school from teaching too is, the female attorneys and the law students are hungry, and they're going out there and they're coming after it, and they're putting the work in, and they're breaking through glass ceilings and showing the world that they're there to do a lot, and they are equally suited as any man is to go to court. And frankly, some of the best prosecutors that I deal with are just amazingly talented female attorneys. So I think the legal profession is being turned on its head right now, especially by the ladies in the profession. They are fantastic. They're hungry. They're great. They're hardworking, smart. What we know women to be. They're phenomenal. I always concede that my wife is also an attorney, is smarter and better than I am at just about everything. So it's right on. With minorities, same thing. I really feel like minorities are making a great push. And if ever there's a time to make a change, the greatest change you can make is get involved in the legal process, become a lawyer, come out there and fight the injustices you see, join law enforcement, be a part of the change that you want to see. Because unfortunately, you have disproportionate attention on some really bad people. And it's got to get cleaned up. And the only way you can clean it up is to make the internal changes. So for lawyers, judges, police, everyone, the community come together and hold everyone accountable for the wrongdoing, and then make an effort to change it. And I really think that's happening in the legal profession. I love the invigoration and the influx of women and minorities getting into the law and practice and coming out there and really taking positions of leadership and authority and changing the dynamic of the culture.
Oh, man. That was deep, brother. Had to take a second. You in your bag right there, man, and you in my heart for sure.
It's tough, man. I mean, I have a lot of clients of every race, religion, sexual orientation. I mean, I deal with everybody. I love people. And that's the thing. I love people. If you don't love people and you're a trial lawyer, get the heck out of the job. You gotta love people. And you gotta love people for who they are. I can disagree with our opinions and thoughts, and you and I can disagree on who we think should be president, or who we think should be this, or what this law should be, or if this is a good person or a bad person. The fact of the matter is that we treat each other with respect and love, and we fight for justice and doing the right thing. Change will happen, and change should happen. It can happen a lot faster if we all get focused in on the positive change instead of all the negative stuff. Just too much negativity out there, and it's earned. Rightfully it is, but we are being the change we want to see. Like, I got an opportunity to have a video and speak to a local sorority, primarily African-American female sorority, and I gave them how to interact with the police. And we talked about police interactions. And, I got emails from a lot of ladies saying, man, this was so helpful. I really appreciate it. The fact of the matter is, I have a lot of police friends. And respectfully, a lot of good people going home, working hard. And they're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, every creed, race, religion, sexual orientation you can think of. They want to get home to their families. But in every profession, you have some terrible people. You got to root up the terrible people in the law, in the police, in the education system. We have to be that change and get it together and hold people responsible for their actions. And then do it out of love. Don't do it out of hate. Do it out of love. When we do those things, the society will change, and we will be a better picture of what we can be and what we should be.
Facebook. I'm going to take a couple steps back. For you guys that are joining me late, you're listening to a guy talk, Stephen Pfeiffer, who has been practicing and living at the top of his game for a very, very long time. When we're talking about people who have been at the top of their game since the beginning, we're talking about a guy in law school who's winning national championships in negotiations. A guy, once he gets to his firm, 108-year-old firm, within 2 to 3 to 4 years, he's a partner there. So we're talking about a guy who's a very, very humble guy, but he's not going to tell you how much he's actually done in the community. I happen to know that he's been an avid reader. And what I would ask is, could you give us your top 4 or 5 books that you've read that's impacted your life? So maybe that our audience can read those books and they can see a little bit into what's in your head right now. Because we all know what you read or what you put into your body is what you put out. So could you tell us a little bit about these books? And could you also tell us when your book is coming out? Because I know it's coming.
Oh, shoot, man. Obviously, the classic, the Bible is the number one book to go to for me. I go to it every morning. It's a good space for me, regardless of your religious creed, whatever it is. I think it's undisputed. There's a lot of wisdom in that book. So that's my number one, my go-to. The second most influential book I got, I have to say, there's a book called Wild at Heart that I read a long time ago. And that book is about, you can be religious and be masculine. And for some reason, people don't think that works together. That book changed my total outlook. Plus, it's quoting Gladiator and a bunch of awesome movies that I love, Braveheart, things like that. Recently, I read a book, and it's called The 48 Laws of Power. Incredible book. Man breaks down 2,000 years of history and psychology and shows how people have attained, held on to, and lost power. He breaks it down to 48 laws. 50 Cent actually did a follow-up with him where they did a book together about the 48 Laws of Power. It was incredible. So I highly recommend the 48 Laws of Power. It's a money book. It's fantastic. Right now I'm reading a book called The Way of the Seal. It's by a former Navy SEAL who is just breaks down how to change your lifestyle, how to get top performance at what you do. I've been really good, about halfway through that, really digging that book as well. And I'd probably say Tim Ferriss wrote a book called Tools of the Titan, where it's a compilation of all his podcasts he's done. Credit to my wife. She read it first. She got me hooked on it. I listened to Ferriss's podcast and I start reading that book. And that's just it's a wealth of information. It'd take you a year to get through it truly, but it's a wealth of information. I'm only a quarter way through it. And I just take it try to dissect it one piece at a time. Those are some big books in my life, man, that really rock my perspectives.
Tell Northeastern North Carolina how they can get in contact with you, whether it's for mentorship, which he answers my phone anytime I call him. For mentorship, definitely for legal advice. When it's time to pay your lawyer, this is the one you need to be paying. Please tell them how they can get in contact with you on all your formats. Yeah, well, first of all, if you're in North Carolina and you're in trouble there, you call Johnnie Finch. He's got you. I can't help you down there. You come up to Virginia Beach or Hampton Roads area, I'm happy to help you out if anything comes up. My law firm does everything, Wolcott, Rivers, Gates. And that's just, WolcottRiversGates.com. We handle every possible thing from setting up a business to getting divorced to personal injury suit. And then what I do is the criminal defense work. If you're looking specifically for me, you can actually go to followthepfeiffer.com. That's followthepfeiffer, PFEIFFER.com. It's a little hashtag thing that I do that my brother and I came up with years ago, and it's kind of something that we do. So if you see my Instagram or Facebook accounts, I always do hashtag followthepfeiffer. It's just kind of a way to find me. But otherwise, the best way to reach me is my phone. I put my direct dial in my office out on the website. I want people to reach out to me. I got an amazing assistant named Raven. If I don't answer, she'll get to you. But you can call me anytime at 757-554-0258. But I'd be happy to help you, talk to you. But frankly, nothing I can tell you isn't what Johnny's already said on the show and what he has said. Do good, work hard, be honest, and don't quit. You do those things, you'll be successful in any endeavor you do. That's just what I think. That's it. I was going to say, hey, give the audience 20 to 30 seconds, but you've done it, man. Touched my heart tonight. Northeastern North Carolina is a better place now. I want everybody's here to tag and share. Let them know about this awesome man, Stephen Pfeiffer. Brian Smalls, you coming next. I might be able to get both of you guys on a double interview. That'd be awesome.
Oh, man. That's the true college football player. That's the guy you need on here.
You got look. We got former students coming, dude. You're the man. I appreciate you. I love you. We're about to sign off. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Get out of your show, man. You need to break away from the babies on one Monday night here before the school year's out and come and be a guest star in my class again. Monday night, okay. Come on, man.
Can you text that to my wife?
You need to watch the show.
Appreciate
it's my pleasure, brother. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing for the community, man. You are a rock star. Keep serving everyone. Take care of it. Do your job in court. Be the light that you are in the legal community, and just don't stop hustling, brother.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you, Facebook. We are out.
See ya, man.